reasons you cannot hook your crush, even though you know that boy is totally interested? How many of us have been in a situation where we know that guy from work, he's into us, he checks us out, or perhaps it's online, he's always in your stories, he's always liking your posts, can I get an amen? And you know he kind of has a crush. And really, you've tried signaling, you've tried flirting, you've tried a few things, more things than you would normally do to let him know it's a green light. Just make your move, honey bunny. Yet for some reason, he is not making the move. Why is this happening? Why can't you hook your crush? What is happening in his head? We're going to explore that today as we continue our Black Swan journey. Okie dokie, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship teacher and principal here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where me and my coaches teach you how to present as a high value, high status, and high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. Now come into the principal's office for a special lesson. Okay, let's go. There is somebody else. There is someone else that he is currently dealing with, pursuing, hopeful over, or in a relationship with. When you find that a man is clearly interested, and you are giving him those signals, those choosing signals, those green flag, green amber, come through, sir, and he is not biting, that means he is already attached to someone else, or seeking to attach to someone else, or is in the process of attaching to someone else, and he just doesn't want to jeopardize that connection to explore this suggestion. The House of Swans is the new portal for the Black Swan Relationship Academy. The House of Swans is where you will be able to completely access me and those of you who are serious, focused, and committed to your Black Swan journey. In the House of Swans, you will get access to many of the courses in the academy depending on your subscription level, but most importantly, you will get the exclusive courses I am creating only for the women in the House of Swans. So far, we've been talking about the power dynamics between men and women, sharing things that I will never share on public platforms, giving you insight so you understand how power flows between the masculine and the feminine. I'm also sharing about how to be completely and totally unforgettable in the bedroom, how to get a man to be completely and absolutely generous with you. And all you have to do to be a part of this elite society is to click the link in bio. And if you're watching this on Instagram, comment the word swans and a link will be sent to you. Love you lots. Number 2. He possibly can see you as wife material. This is a very annoying, because one would think, sir, if you think I'm wife material, why on earth would you spend time with anybody else when you can just have me as your beautiful wife? Marriage and commitment for men is a very different concept for us. When a man commits, he is taking on responsibility. He's taking on more responsibility to keep somebody else safe, somebody else fed, somebody else have everything else. He's taking on responsibility. And men don't always want to take on responsibility, especially in a world where man no longer needs to take responsibility in order to access a woman's body. Men no longer need to be responsible to access a woman's body. So in that case, they are happy to postpone the responsibility piece for as long as they can have sexual access on tap. When men can have a sexual access on tap, they really are not going to be willing unless something fundamentally happens. They grow, they have a come to Jesus moment, they have a connection with God, something profound happens in their lives, they lose a parent, their friends start to get married and fall off. Then they think, oops, maybe I should now take on some responsibility along with the sexual access. And so if he's not ready to take on responsibility, then he's going to leave you there. And a lot of men do this. I have guy friends that do this, who will basically say, listen, she's an amazing woman. She's amazing. Unfortunately, I'm not ready to be a boyfriend, to be a husband. And I can tell that she's the girl for that. I would have to date her different. and I'm not ready for that. And so he might like you, he might see you, but he knows you are not the girl he's going to play with. And so he's going to leave you right there where you are until he can be that guy. Next is he has financial concerns. He can see that you take really good care of yourself. Men notice things like nails. They notice things like hair. They notice the way a woman grooms herself. They notice the quality of her clothing. They notice the texture of her skin. They notice the caliber of a woman and the way she smells. And intuitively, they know that this is a woman who is high maintenance. She takes care of herself at a very high level. And as a result, I won't be able to maintain that and still feel good about myself as a man. If he's a masculine man, he wants to take over the responsibility for your upkeep, your nails, your hair, your little things. He wants to be able to support that and to be a part of the grooming of his woman. And if he feels like that is going to blow the bank just looking at you, he is not going to approach. And that is just fine by me and should be fine by you. Number 4, you are not his type. Now let's discuss this briefly. His type doesn't mean that you are not attractive. His type doesn't mean that there's anything even wrong with you. It can be anything that he just does not prefer. You might be a beautiful woman, but he might not like women with big bottoms. He may not like women of a particular race. He may not like a woman with a certain type of lifestyle. I had a client once who was dating this amazing guy. He just adored her. She was elegant, beautiful, gorgeous, the kind of woman that a man walks into the room and every man knows he's walked in with the trophy. She was amazing. However, he was a guy who liked to live on the rough side of life. His idea of a good holiday was getting stoned from the moment the aircraft landed in whatever country they were in or destination they were in, and get stoned throughout the day into the night. That was his idea of a wonderful holiday. On the other hand, she was not a drinker, a drug user. She was a very clean living girl. In every other way, they were compatible, but this meant that when they were on holiday, she was sober and he was stoned. And so she had to live through his stoned kind of attitude and the way that he was when he was stoned. Not everybody's a chilled out stoned person. And she just couldn't handle it. But she loved him and would have stayed for the party. However, he decided to dump her because he really wanted somebody who would just get stoned with him, lie on the beach, and spend the whole day high and just have a good time. That was his idea. So it wasn't that there was anything wrong with this client of mine. Everything about her was fantastic. She just wasn't his type. Turns out his type was somebody more closer to home and somebody that would happily do drugs with him all day long. So being a man's type doesn't necessarily mean that you're unattractive or there's anything wrong with you. It just means he wants something else. I had a client who was rejected by some other guy because he knew she wasn't the type to go to swingers party. She wasn't the type to do all of these kind of more deviant or engage in more deviant sexual behaviors. She just wasn't his type. So a man can look at you and think, she's fine, she's so sexy, she's amazing, but I can tell intuitively that she wouldn't be down with the lifestyle that I like or in the way that I like to do things. And so that is what I mean when I say you are not his type. He has approach anxiety. Some men have never been able to quite overcome the approach anxiety. They will look from far, they will dream, and you could go and lift your shirt and say, "Sir, take me, I'm yours." Yeah, that you could open your, you could literally grab him and he would still be paralyzed. He would still question himself. He would still question his worthiness. He'd probably think he's being punked. Some men just do not have the ability to overcome the anxiety around making that first move. Now, Chengi, what do you do? What do you do with a guy who has that much anxiety? There's only so much you can do before you become the masculine in that dynamic. If you don't mind doing the chasing, doing the initiating, then you may very well end up with your crush. But don't be disappointed when you find that he is more comfortable in the submissive. Don't be surprised when you find he doesn't really initiate or lead or plan or do those things that we love men to do that feel romantic. He will be more likely the guy who will say, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do. Where should we go? This is a man that will more likely be in his passive, submissive, feminine role, because his anxiety means he is unwilling to take the emotional risk. Ergo, he is not a competent and capable emotional gatekeeper, which is the masculine role. For all of these men, for high value, high status, and high worth women, other than signaling in the way that I teach you in the Flirt and Date Masterclass and in the ways that we discuss in the House of Swans, other than doing the things that I have taught you even on this channel, there is very little you can do about helping a grown man make a move on a grown woman. And if you try to do much more than the signaling skills that I have given you, you will be stepping into the masculine, and you may very well find yourself with a feminine energy guy. And if you don't mind that, you love that, you don't mind taking the lead, please, by all means, feel free to be a lot more overt. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. In the meantime, do take care of you. Bye-bye now. If you've been listening to this broadcast, you feel that you identify with anything that I have said, I want you to know that we're not leaving you on your own. Actually, I have created a complimentary initial call with my coaches. You will be able from today onwards to call one of the coaches and have a conversation about the particular issue that is bothering you. This call is completely free, no obligation. It is our ministry and our service to you to make sure that we get to touch base with you, understand what's going on with you, and actually give you a moment to speak with a professional, maybe even for the first time in your life. But I don't know how long I'll be able to offer this to you, my darling swan. But whilst it is here and you're watching this video, please find the link below, or if you're on Instagram, comment help. Take care of you.